yesterday. So today we are going to be uprooting this hosta, leveling out this bed, planting the Graham Blandies, and these are relatively narrow evergreens. They're a boxwood. They are a very hardy boxwood, and they will grow about 15 feet tall, but they will not grow more than a foot wide, 1 to 2 feet wide. And they'll be able to block and screen out the fence because I am not a fan of fences. No matter how many times I say that, the fence doesn't go away. But we will get that done today, and then we will do some weeding if we have some time, running the string trimmer as well. So let's get to it. Okay, so the hostas are out. They were in there pretty deep. Got a nice sizable hole now, and we are going to fill this with topsoil. And then after we fill it with topsoil, we're going to use some spray paint to mark out the way that I want the trees to be laid. Now, the thing is, I don't want a straight line of trees. I actually want a bit of a curve. And so the base of the fountain is round. So I need to make sure that there's enough space in there for the curve, but also for the leaves to grow in and ideally cover the fence. So we will get to that. I'm gonna go drag the topsoil in. Got 10 bags of topsoil. Yes, I think this area definitely needs 10 bags. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so as you can see, this area has a nice little layer. I'm not really going to worry too much. I'm more concerned about the back where the trees are going to go. I'm gonna give them a little bit of spacing away from the fence, not too much, because like I said, I have to put the water feature in here and it's a really narrow area. So while I want to get these weeds up over here, those weeds right there, it's not my primary focus now that it's raining. And there's also going to be a castle spire holly that goes in over there. So I'm actually just gonna focus on spray painting right now so I can get the shape of what I want it to look like. Okay, I'm backing up so that you can see the full picture. This is about how I want it to look, and you can see I left a space for where I want the water feature to start and the pool and the basin to be. So it doesn't look exactly dead center because the length of this patio is not quite aligned with the trees on the opposite side of the patio, and I want it to be center with the trees on the opposite side of the patio. I also want it to be such that when you're sitting on the patio, the person that has their back towards the fountain hears it the loudest, and in order for that to be the case, it needs to be right there. So we have etched that out of where we want things to be, and I'm gonna start filling in some trees around where I want them to go. So I'll take a bit here. As I mentioned, these grow about 1 to 2 feet, so I actually don't want them too far apart from each other because I do want them to create a hedge and to screen out. So I think I'll put 3 on this side. That'll go there. Now on this side, as I mentioned, I'm putting a castle spire holly here. So this I'll worry about later. I'm actually just gonna fill up right around here. And I'm actually going to put these right on the line. So initially I started with 4 laid out on this side, but it looks like because I'm going to put the Castle Spire holly there, it looks like I'll probably only need 3, so I'm only going to leave 3 here, and then I'll do these 3 on this side. It is starting to rain a little bit harder. I'm going to drop a little bit of wood ace and a little bit of plant tone. I am out of biotone starter, so I didn't drop any of that in the hole, but will make sure to fertilize just a little bit as these are just getting started. Look at this little guy trying to get to my neighbor's peach tree. There's no more peaches on it because they've eaten all of them. So I've got 3 on this side and 3 on this side. I know I said I wasn't going to put all 7 in the ground. I was going to leave 1 out because I looked like I had enough going on this side, but I really want all of them in. I know I should leave this area open, but I think I'm going to go ahead and fill it up and see. Hopefully it'll be enough room. I measured out with a foot and just walking, and so it's about 48 inches, so I should have 7 inches of hang time where I can just float about with that, and hopefully the fountain will still fit. So I'm going to try it out, see how it goes, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll just have to move it. But I really want that fence covered. As of right now, I think the rain is holding up for a little while. It's just a little bit of drizzle. I ran into some roots, and so I had to take out the big clippers and cut those roots off. And then over here, I ran into some bricks. So look at how big that brick is. I just don't know what people were doing in 1947 when this house was built, but obviously it served a purpose. Form typically follows function, and so I am now going to have to think about what may possibly be under there. It was some irises when I moved in, and I started using it as a compost pile when I was digging up the yard. Now it doesn't serve as a compost pile. The compost pile is behind the shed. It's an absolute mess. It's not a real compost pile, but my goal is to clean that up at some point, get behind there. We'll see. Hopefully I will be able to finish this up today, and then I am going to cover it up actually with some cardboard before I mulch, because I want to prevent the weeds from popping up in this bed. I'm putting alliums in here in the fall, and so I want it to be pretty supple for the alliums. So we'll see how much we get done. There's a butterfly on the phlox. It's so beautiful. It's been a really long day, but we got all of the Graham Blandies in the ground and even got to some of the other projects. We did not get to everything that we wanted to do this weekend, but we got the grass cut. We're able to do a little bit of deadheading, but there's still a lot more work to do. I'm going to take you on a walk around the yard, and we'll outline what we'll be doing for the rest of the week. So this, we've got to get some cardboard in here, cover that up, and then mulch that. And then we'll be waiting to put the fountain in. We've still got to run electrical. out here, but it's a lot of work to do. However, it's at a good stopping place. I've got some weeding left to do in the beds this week. I did not do any of the string trimming and any of the edging, so that'll be on deck for this week, along with some more weeding. Our roses need to be deadheaded, so we'll be doing a little bit of deadheading this week. And then got some deadheading and some weeding to do in this bed, some trimming back, and probably some staking as well, so that we can get a little bit more upright. The phlox are starting to bloom back here as well. We saw some of the butterflies in the front today, and a monarch came back here. I wasn't able to catch it, but I was so excited just to see a monarch. I always feel like the garden is in a good state if the monarchs are coming. So be doing some more weeding around here, and then I want to get some cardboard down around here too before I mulch, so I'll be putting some cardboard down around here. I've got to get to this patio. Look at what this looks like. Okay, let's go around to the front. So around front, I did not do, this is the side, and I didn't do any of the trimming that needs to be done around here for these hydrangeas. Need to come in and cut some back. They have a little bit of chlorosis, you can see, so I'll probably need to treat with some iron around here. Didn't do any of this weeding, so that'll be on deck for the week. And then I have 3 Graham Blandies that I'm going to plant here. I did manage to move the phlox to the back. So the phlox is now at the back. The limelight hydrangea is at the front, so it'll have a little more prominence. And then I moved this Mr. Bowling Ball from the street over here. So I've got to fill that hole on the street, but I'm not filling it with anything because I'm tired of the cats peeing on it. It's the neighborhood cats, and they just come and they pee on anything that I put out there, and then it turns it brown and I have to move it. So I'm going to leave that there. Hopefully they won't bother it, jumping fences and things of that nature. Over here I have some lamb's ear that needs to be split. It got really big, so, and these white ones probably need to be cut back a little. We'll also probably be dropping some land and sea in this bed. I need to cut these phlox back. And this camellia tree, I don't know what's going on with it. I don't like the way it's looking. The leaves look burned, so we'll have to check what's going on there. I really have no idea, but you can see the tips. The leaves look burned. That's not good. The ones at the back are perfectly fine. Just may have been too hot, and so I'll have to cut some of those off. It's a slow grower, so I hate cutting on that one. Got to do some weeding in this bed also. And then I moved the hostas from the back. I got half of the, I would say, not even really half. I got some of this hell strip weeded and trimmed up. It's still a little grassy and gross, so I'll be working on it continuously. I stopped working on this one largely because what happened was I had boxwoods all lined up. It was beautiful in the spring, and then the cats started peeing on them. On top of the cats, I think it was just too much sun here, which it's a hell strip, you would expect that. However, I thought this tree would come out a little sooner, and it did not. And so I am probably just going to try and fill this with things that are already in the yard. I do want to get some yarrow though, and some milkweed, some yarrow, some milkweed, and probably some something else. I don't know, something else, but maybe some coreopsis. We'll see. I kind of want this to be a little bit bigger and fuller. There are tulips in here that come up in the spring. I'll put a picture of those on the screen, but just because the picture's so pretty. But I have not had much success with the hell strip, so I'm going to keep working on it. This is a project that these are likely to burn out, but just because I think, you know, hostas are just so hardy, I'm just going to try and leave them here and see what happens. Everything else, that is wrapping up for the weekend. We will have lots of projects next week. I don't know exactly what I'll be working on, but it will be in the zones, so I'll record a video on the zones and walk you through what's going to happen as I figure out. Today is my planning day, and I'm supposed to be sitting at my desk planning out for the week, but I have not done that. So it'll be a combination of these projects that need to be done, as well as some preparation for the fall. I hope you all have a great weekend and happy gardening.